Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. On May the 25th, 2020, the world witnessed the heartless murder of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis police officers. For 8 minutes and 46 seconds, Mr. Floyd's life was taken away from him. On May the 29th and the 30th, constituents here in Fort Wayne responded to witnessing the senseless murder of George Floyd. Our mayor announced on June the 18th, he heard the constituents cry, that we needed to take a look at our response to our civil unrest and peaceful protests. For the last 8 months, 17 community members have met, have studied, have learned what it takes to be a police officer, have listened to the concerns of the community. And today, our city is in alignment with the nation. The nation recently passed out of the House the George Floyd bill on police reform. Our state in January passed out of the House the police reform bill. And today I will be presenting to the mayor 18 recommendations that are coming out of the Mayor's Commission on Police Reform and Racial Justice. What I want the city to know is that this was not an easy process for us to arrive at. There were tense moments, there were delicate moments, but we believe that the 18 recommendations will be transformational. And we could not have done it without those 17 members of the commission. And under the co-leadership of Joe Jordan, who will speak today, he was able to lead us through this process. I believe that the commission sets a tone of healing and reconciliation of what took place on May the 25th. So I say thank you to the 17 members who we worked together collectively. I say thank you to the mayor who had the vision to listen and to bring together the commission. At this time, I will welcome up Joe Jordan, the co-chair of the commission, for a few words.
Thank you. Good morning. I'll just echo the words that Michelle just spoke. This has been a very, very good process, engaging our community around policing, listening to our community, coming up with some strong, substantive recommendations that we can continue to move our city forward. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Michelle's leadership. She gives me credit for leading this, but it's actually her leadership that brought us all together. And I'm really, really proud of the recommendations that we've come up with. I also want to thank the Fort Wayne PD, Chief Reed and his team, for allowing us to learn more about their processes, to allow us to learn about their culture, and giving us an opportunity to impact that culture. I want to thank the commission, the members. Again, it was a grueling process. We always had a lot of substantive conversations around these recommendations, and every voice was heard in that room. Wanted to make sure that every voice was heard, every opinion was valued, and all of these recommendations was unanimous, a unanimous decision by all 17 commissions. We feel that we have something that will continue to move our city forward. And last but not least, certainly I want to thank Mayor Henry for his courageous leadership. He didn't have to put this commission together, but he made a decision to listen to the community and the citizens. And I'm so proud of his leadership in allowing us to galvanize around this very, very difficult issue. I mean, these issues are very difficult. And for him to say, I want to listen to the community, and it was a very diverse group of people that got together. And we had not-for-profit, we had faith-based, we had grassroots organizations. We had from every sector in our city that commission was made of. And so we're very proud of the work that was done over the last 8 months. And again, we want to thank Mayor Henry for his courageous leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Henry, if you join at the podium, I would like to present to you the Mayor's Commission on Police Reform, our 18 recommendations. And I have one for the chief as well. Chief? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman. Thank you, Joe. The comments that were made by both of them are actually very polite comments relative to the activity that took place here just a few months ago. What happened here last summer was devastating for our community. There were actions taken that we had never experienced before in the history of this city. Actions that ultimately were totally unacceptable. But yet they had a foundation that we had to address. There's no question that we had actions taken by individuals in this community that needed to be talked about. We had actions taken by our police department that had to be justified. And the only way to do that was to bring together our community. And under the leadership of Councilwoman Chambers and Joe Jordan from the Boys and Girls Club, they were able to do just that. You know, there are a lot of communities that have committees and commissions, and we do too, that meet once a month or every other month or quarterly. This commission met every other week for 8 months to make sure that every issue that was brought before the commission was addressed. Now, not everything was agreed to. Some of the things were put aside. Some of the things, quite frankly, were already being done, but nobody knew. Ultimately, they were able to come before us with a document that means a tremendous amount to me as we try to move this city forward, to try to make this city the best city it can possibly be. So I cannot be more appreciative of the work that was done by the commission and by these two individuals behind me to make sure that we have these issues presented in a way that I can sit down with the police department and with others affected and begin to address those matters that mean so much to our community. At this time, I'm going to direct the police chief to take immediate action and to come up with a time frame that's appropriate in order to move these forward. Chief, would you like to talk about the time frame that you're interested in going to address this?
Thanks, everybody, for coming today. I want to thank the commission and their efforts on this report. I also want to thank the men and women of the Fort Wayne Police Department for the excellent work they do every day. In going over these recommendations, when we go over them, myself and the mayor, I look to meet back with Joe and Michelle here in about 45 days or so to see what recommendations we have already implemented and what we can implement in the future. So thank you very much. Mayor?
Thank you, Chief. As you've heard, it's been decided that within 45 days we'll report back to Councilwoman Chambers and to Mr. Jordan to let them know how far we've gotten as far as putting together a strategic plan to address these specific issues. I'm also going to direct the chief to continue to meet with these individuals at least twice a year to give them reports on the accountability factors involved in making sure that these actions move forward. So with that, I want to thank you all again. Councilwoman?
So again, just know that this work could not have been done without the assistance of the mayor's staff, Stephanie Crandall, and our legislative assistant, Megan Floor. There's a lot of work that went into this. Know that it was not easy, but we stand behind the report. We are proud of the report, and we hope that the community realizes the efforts that went into this report. So thank you for being here today. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Chief Reed. And that's really all that I have to say now. If there's any questions, I'm here. If not, that'll do it.
One question I would have is, can you highlight, I know you've got 18 recommendations. Is there a couple that really stand out in your mind that should be highlighted that you believe aren't being done already? For instance, something that you think is really paramount?
For me, all the recommendations are paramount. I would not want to pull out one and make one more important than the other. I am looking forward to meeting with the chief to see what is already in place, and then what are the other items that can be put into place. Again, some of the items that were hot and very concerning for the commission was the wearing of the body armor and all that, the body cameras. That's already being addressed. So again, all of the 18 recommendations are important. One is not more important than the other.
Meaning that, in other words, the idea of getting these cameras out there in full use, what you're saying is that you believe will begin to address some of the issues.
Some of the
because it will
issues.
allow us to see what's really going on in some of these events.
Very good, yes. Okay. Thank you all for coming.